What's going on, the peeps? It's your homie Usman Unchained. Welcome to another video. I'm going to be diving in to 5 ways in which you can better your mental health. You can improve your mental health in 2023 so that this can be the year where you are your happiest. My mental health used to be atrocious. I would wake up in the morning with gut-wrenching anxiety, worry, dread, and I would have to drag myself out of bed in order to get on with the day. After spending hours laying there battling my mind, not getting anywhere with thought alone. I had to get into the body. I had to develop a morning routine. I had to motivate myself. I had to hold myself accountable to a higher standard. And in time, I was able to increase and better my mental health, feeling happier than ever before. But I want you to know that it wasn't always like that, okay? I struggled a lot with obsessive compulsive thoughts, with addictions, right? With self-sabotage, with anxiety, like I said, and a deep sense of depression and existentialism. What's the point? I would ask myself all day long. I don't know the point to my life. I wanted to die at one point. It got that bad. So just know that I'm not speaking to you from some place up here, speaking down to you. That's not what this is. This is me sharing what's helped me, and hopefully it can help you too, okay? So the first thing I want to share with you guys today is all about control. Control. The mind wants to control everything outside of it, everything outside of you. But here's the truth. The truth is that you have no control over the external world. You can't control how other people drive. You can't control how other people speak to you. You can't control how the external world treats you or is. So let's just get a little bit more detailed on what I mean by control. When we're talking about control, we're split into 2 primary categories. That is controllable or uncontrollable. Now, you will experience struggle, you'll experience pain and suffering more than the necessary amount if these definitions aren't clear. And so that's why I've said that the external world can't be controlled. If you invest in that belief, you've got to find evidence. I'm not expecting you to just believe it because I've said it. But if you consider this and come to understand this, that the external world is out of your control, the internal world, however, is. So, right underneath controllable, we have internal and uncontrollable, external. And what are some of the internal things that we're talking about here? Like I've mentioned, breath, perspective. You can't always control your thoughts, but you can control how you think about your thoughts, okay? Oftentimes, we have a negative thought and then we perceive that in a negative way. So we think negatively about thinking negatively. We think or feel a certain way and then we perceive it in a negative way. And that leads to a cascade effect of feeling even lower. So if your mind is out of your control right now, if you're struggling a lot mentally, shine the light of a perspective. What's a perspective that you can use? This is a test. This is a test. This is an opportunity. This is a way for me to learn about my own mind. And when I learn and I get through this, I'm actually going to be able to help other people too. I'm going to understand other people on a whole new level. So choose your perspective. You can do that. That's your choice. Or you can choose to see it as, this is the end. There is no control. This is a disaster. What's the point? I should just end it. I don't vote for that. I vote for this, choosing positive perspective. Okay? What else do we have control over? Our actions. Okay? The actions. We choose our actions. So you can choose to lay there thinking. You can choose there to lay there overthinking. Going round in cycles and cycles of overthinking, or you can choose to get yourself up, get yourself out, walk, run, train, nourish, yeah, expose yourself to things that are uncomfortable, develop yourself, your mental health is surely going to go up if and when you do that. So that is the first point. Let's dive on right to the second one. I'm going to wrap these all up together at the end of the video. I'm going to give you something extra juicy at the end as well. So number two, the second tip I want to share with you today, number two is practice. And practice what? Practice something that's going to get you out of your head and somewhere else. And by somewhere else, I mean into your body. Okay? So this can look like anything from physical training. And the ones that worked and have worked so good for me are breath work. If you're not practicing breath work, start. Yoga and meditation. Okay? Breath work, yoga and meditation. In one routine, you can do breath work, yoga and meditation. Just in one routine, so you can combine them all in what we would call classical yoga, hatha yoga, which is the combination of breath and postures, okay? So you're breathing in yoga, you're breathing in the postures, you're practicing awareness more than flexibility, because that's not what yoga's about. And you're getting out of your head and you're getting into your body, okay? I used to experience so much turmoil in my mind, constantly plagued by negative thoughts. The first time I ever experienced a true sense of peace, presence, and bliss was when I started practicing yoga. The final posture, Shavasana, laying there still, after exerting so much physical energy, I was able to relax in a way that I'd never relaxed before, okay? And so meditation comes hand in hand with yoga, and breath work comes hand in hand with yoga, because that is what yoga is, okay? It's not about training your flexibility. It's not about doing handstands and crazy moves. You can do those things too. It's cool, yeah? But it's not what it's really about. So start your year off by getting into some of these practices, okay? It's not too late. I know we're 3 weeks into January, but so what? So what? Get yourself onto one of these practices, start. I have a yoga program. This isn't me trying to sell to you. It's just in case you don't know where to start. It's an online yoga program with pre-recorded routines in a very structured and easy to digest way. You do one practice a day. You get about 35 days of consistent practice in. And by that time, you'll be feeling so much better. So let me know in the comments if you want access to that, and I'll even leave a link to it in the description below. So the third tip that I got for you today is an interesting one. They say the people, right? The people that you surround yourself with, you become the sum product of, right? You become the sum of the 5 people that you spend most time with. So social circles must be cleansed this year. Cleanse your social circle. If you're hanging around with people and it's just fueling addictions or fueling behaviors and patterns that you don't really want to be in anymore, then it's time for you to start cleansing your social life, okay? So find people that are positive, generally positive. This doesn't mean you got to be happy all the time, and this doesn't mean you should expect them to be happy all the time. What this means is people that are into personal growth, self-improvement, self-mastery, okay? People that want to improve themselves. Surround yourself with people like this, because you'll inspire one another, you'll hold each other accountable, okay? Be with honest people. People who, when they ask you the question, how are you doing today, you can answer them with honesty instead of having to lie, because you don't want to be a burden on them. So also people that have levels of compassion and empathy. Compassion or empathy. Emotionally intelligent individuals If you're not spending your time with such people, then you're gonna have a very hard time, because you might be in their company, but you'll feel alone, right? You'll feel lonely even though you're with people. And that's because they're not present and you're not present with them. And when you are present and you're being your authentic self, it's not good enough for them. There's criticism, there's judgment, there's a lack of acceptance. And so cleanse your social circle. This is going to reap massive rewards when bettering your mental health this new year of 2023. And why is that? Because you are the sum total of the top 5 people that you're spending your time with. Okay? So you want to be happy, you want to be healthy, start hanging around with people that are into these things too. You want to grow, you want to be wealthy, whatever it is that you desire, just start hanging around with people that are into that. You want to improve your mental health, start spending time with people that are interested in that too. And if you struggle to meet new people, here's my advice to you. Think of it like this. Where would these people that are interested in this stuff, where would they go? Where would they be? Where would they spend their time? Physically and digitally. Go to those places physically, go to those places digitally, engage, get to know people, be a little bit vulnerable and open up, share, and you'll make some new homies pretty soon, okay? So I wish you well with this one. Let's dive in to the next. The 4th tip that I got for you today, homie, the 4th tip is to write or journal. Okay? Writing and journaling. It doesn't have to be in a physical book with a pen. Sometimes I know that can be a little bit inconvenient. It can be on your phone. It can be on your computer. It can be on your laptop, whatever it is. Just put pen to paper or fingertips to keys or screen if you're using your phone, and write. Write about how you're feeling. Write about how you're thinking. Be scientific about it. I only say this because this has been the way that has helped me most. I'm like a scientist with my mind, okay? You might not know this about me, but I went to university, I did mathematics. And when I was in uni, my first year of uni, I loved mathematics. I still love mathematics today. But in the second year, I got so interested in psychology because I could start to see how it was mathematics going on in here, patterns, yeah, equations, solutions to problems. I had a lot of problems mentally and physically. And so my life became about solving these problems. That's mathematical, right? To solve problems. I was just solving problems in here as opposed to on the piece of paper. And so solve your problems by writing about them. Write about why you've fallen off your New Year's resolution already if you have had one. Write about why you might have not made that change in your life that you've been wanting to make for so long. Get detailed about it, get scientific, and write from a place of understanding. Okay? There's a quote, seek first to understand, then to be understood. So understand yourself, right? And don't expect others to understand you if you don't understand them or yourself. Be the first one to be in a stance that wants to understand, as opposed to always trying to be understood by other people. And if you don't understand yourself, then you find it very hard to navigate this world and this life, because you might not understand how your biometrics work, what gets your heart rate up in a way that's not resourceful, what triggers you emotionally, right? The more you get to know yourself, the more you get to know your patterns and your behaviors, the better you'll navigate this life. And that's what this is all about. Improving your mental health in 2023 is going to require you to learn how to navigate life that much better. So seek to understand yourself, write, type, scribble, whatever you got to do, okay? Just get it out and start processing things. A lot of people I work with, when I ask them to do this, they say, oh, but I don't know what to write about. Just start with the thoughts that you're having. Start with the thoughts that you're having, or start with the behavior that you're stuck in. Just write it like you are the narrator of your life, okay? And you will be surprised This is the key with all creativity, is that you just got to start and you'll be surprised with what comes. It will just flow once you give yourself time to do this in a way in which you're not overly distracted by other things. So get your phone on silent, put it on flight mode or whatever, and just journal for 10 minutes, 20 minutes or so. So this one's worked massively for me. I've got journals and journals full, right, with crazy things that I've discovered about myself, dark things, light things, everything in between. And I wish that this helps you too. Let's move on to the next one. So the fifth tip that I've got for you today, guys, is to do something that many people refer to as monk mode. Now, I'm going to do a more in-depth video on this, but if you just type this into YouTube and you check out a guy called Imam Gadzi, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He does a good in-depth video on monk mode. And so maybe I don't even need to do this, but if you like watching my videos and you would like me to do a video on monk mode and how I see monk mode and how I do monk mode, then let me know and I can do that for you. Monk mode is a set period of time, right? You set yourself a period of time, 21 days minimum. 21 days. Where you subtract the things from your life that you know are holding you back, especially in this period of time. And you also add in the things that you know you really need to improve your life and to get to the next level version of yourself. So you subtract certain things. Like I said, we can go more in depth in another video. And you add the positive things, right? Because if you remove the weeds from the garden, but you don't plant any flowers, then you're just going to get more weeds growing. And so you've got to subtract and add at the same time, okay? Now, you set clearly defined rules for a monk mode period. Clearly defined rules like, in this period, no alcohol, no smoking, no weed, whatever it might be, no porn, whatever it is you're indulging in, no video games. I don't know, you challenge yourself. It should feel a little bit scary. It should feel a little bit daunting, but that's a good sign because it's going to be outside your comfort zone. It's going to result in true growth and development. And so in your monk mode, maybe that can involve doing some things that we've mentioned before: journaling, yoga, meditation, breath work, cleansing your social circles, abstaining from hanging around with people that you just know aren't doing you good. Yeah. And I promise you, if you do 21 days consistent, yeah, you'll come out on the other side. You'll feel like you're a whole new person. Your mind will be clearer. Your dopamine centers will have regulated. You're not going to feel that sense of having no attention span or no focus or uncontrollable negative thoughts in your mind because you've changed the way that you operate. And so I invite you to do a monk mode. I invite you to challenge yourself. If you want me to make a more in-depth video on monk mode, I can totally do that. If you want to do a monk mode challenge, let me know and we can do that as a group, because it helps to have support and like-minded people when you're on this journey to bettering yourself. For me, I did it mostly alone. I didn't have people around me that were interested in improving themselves too. And so I did most of the journey solo, but I'm not about that anymore. I think that community is key in mental health, in physical health, in wellness, in thriving on earth. We're social beings, aren't we? So if you like this video, those are the 5. Let me just recap actually. Yeah, make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell and all that, and leave comments. Let me just quickly recap. The first tip that I offered you today was to understand control. Controllables versus uncontrollables. If it's out of your control, leave it. Focus on what you can control, especially if you struggle to let go of what you can't. Change your focus, redirect your attention, because where attention goes, energy flows, okay? So give energy to the things that you can control: your breath, your posture, your perception, your actions, okay? Next, we spoke about yoga, breathwork, meditation, getting some of these practices into your life, getting out of the head, getting into the body. Then we spoke about cleansing your social circle. You've got to cleanse your tribe, okay? You've got to cleanse your tribe. The fourth point was to journal or to write, process what is in your mind. If there's a lot going on there and it's not a pleasant place, then that means there needs to be some light of consciousness applied and shone in that cave in order to bring it to awareness. Once you bring things to awareness, they're not as scary, they're not as challenging. Once you understand them, you can navigate the tides of life better. And fifth and final is to do a monk mode challenge. Set yourself a monk mode challenge. Write it all out. Get it strategized. Put it up on your wall with days and boxes to tick off. Set your constraints. What are you going to be adding? What are you going to be adding? What are you going to be subtracting? Okay? How long are you going to be doing it for? A minimum of 21 days. So I wish you well. I wish you well. I hope you're improving. And if you're not and you're feeling stagnant and you're struggling, just know that it can be and will be okay. However, you are the master of your destiny. You must get in the driver's seat of your life. You must be player number one and not an NPC. Okay? Not an NPC, a non-playable character. You got to be player one. So take the control in your hands and start playing the game of your life. And I wish you well. Have a beautiful day. Much love. Support by subscribing, liking and commenting. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.